All right, 6:06. What do you say that we go ahead and get started, everyone?
All right, sounds good. Do you have everyone muted? Yes. Okay. So welcome, everyone. I am Shanetta. I'm going to get ready to introduce myself. I'm so excited for everyone who is here on this evening. So hello and welcome, ladies and all, everyone who is here to the NC WIT Aspirations in Computing and Minnesota STEM Partnership Women in STEAM Movement 2022. I'm Shanetta Spriggs. I am the multimedia designer, entrepreneur, and marketing engineer for the Minnesota STEM Partnership and your preliminary host for tonight. So October is a very powerful and crucial month for recognizing women's health, but we also want to expose you all to the incredible world of STEAM opportunities, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So get ready to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook so we can stay connected at MN STEM Partners, and Facebook at Minnesota STEM Partnership to stay connected, and let it be known that you are also doing great things in October. So embrace your hair. I'm seeing the different vibes in here tonight. I'm loving it. I love it, everyone. Everyone's looking so good. Embrace the skin that you are in and rock this year's theme. So with the next Tuesdays coming up, feel free to wear purple, lavender, magenta, and bold gold. We wanted those colors to be to represent royalty and who we are and all of those great, wonderful things. So use the hashtags, hashtag MSP Women in STEAM and MSP Movement. Woo, everyone feeling good? Feeling good tonight? Good. Yes, I'm loving it. Great, so let's get ready for the next slide because we need to get in touch with these housekeeping rules. Right, ready? Wonderful. What were you saying, Michael? Perfect, there you go. So we're getting ready for these housekeeping rules. So first things first, your Zoom link and registration upon joining this program is yours and yours only. Please do not share it with others. Proper registration is through aspirations.mnstempartners.org. This is special for you. Secondly, we want everyone to know that they should be focused. Let's be focused tonight, comfortable, and ready for a night to proudly be yourself while learning about STEAM. We made this especially for you, so make sure you have something to drink nearby or something to take notes with and your phones silenced. For our in-person attendees, can I get some waves from the in-person attendees tonight? Yay! All right, so please be settled and quiet during instructions, speeches, and discussion panels. And for our virtual attendees, please do the same by muting your microphone. All right, we're all good. Lastly, for engagement, in-person attendees, write down your questions and wait for instructions to ask them. Also, for our virtual attendees, please place all questions in the Zoom chat. Even though there is a raised hand feature in Zoom to flow with our awesome agenda, we want to make sure that the Zoom breakout rooms will be used during the Women in STEAM sessions. So in those breakout training rooms, you may raise your hand to ask questions within those. And before we close out for the evening for any final questions. When we are all in the lobby like we are right now, your engagement will be through Zoom emojis and the Zoom chat. So let's go ahead and have everyone use the Zoom emojis to express themselves. You'll see the 3 dots or so, or how you can go ahead and just use those buttons to just give a reaction. You can put a heart, let everyone know you're excited, put the crying, laughing face, whatever it is that you want to do. Great, we've got participation. Wonderful. Good. All right. Yep. Hearts, thumbs up, laughing face. Yeah, we want to see everyone engage and have fun tonight. And for those who are in person in the classroom, let me see. Okay, I'm looking at you all now. Can we get some head nods, some thumbs ups? Can we get some hearts? Let me see you moving. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Now let's hear and see a virtual round of applause. Let's get ready to see and hear. Awesome, you guys. So we're going to get ready and get started. And Zoom, I will be your voice. Ladies, I'll be your voice in the chat box. So I will be the one that will bring up questions and things that are in the chat up for Dr. Wolf and all speakers and panelists this month for each section. So tonight is introductory night. So it'll be a little bit different instead of doing the breakout sessions tonight. But what we're going to do is, that means the agenda is slightly different. So let's go ahead and give a round of applause for Dr. Michael G. Wolf, the founder and executive director of the Minnesota STEM Partnership. Yes, Dr. Wolf has coordinated and hosted these Women in STEAM training sessions for the past 4 years. He's brought forth so much tech talent to speak to young ladies like yourselves, and we cannot thank him enough. Thank you, Dr. Wolf. And will you go ahead and please introduce yourself, the agenda, and the goals for tonight? Oh, you're on mute. Let's see.
How about that?
Perfect.
I'm going to stay muted on that one. All right. Can you hear me okay, audience? Shanetta, can you hear me okay? All right. Wow, I have to tell you, this is a complete reversal of roles, because I found that my skill is not as a Zoom administrator, as I had volunteered to do this job. However, I do like to talk. And so in the spirit of time, I am not going to talk that much, but I will tell you, to those of you here in the room and on the Zoom call, is that the Minnesota STEM Partnership is a labor of love. It's a labor of love for the volunteers, like the mentors that are in the room. It's a labor of love for the staff, and every single person that engages with Minnesota STEM Partnership is really about advancing technology, STEM, engineering, arts, science, and math, and everything in between. But truly, the Minnesota STEM Partnership at its core is a youth workforce development organization. We don't just give them one particular activity. We infuse other types of programming with it, including professional development. In our audience here today, we have the president of a local chapter of the National Society for Black Engineers, or NSBE. We have participation with BDPA. In the room, we have Kelly, who is a leader in the Black Data Processing Associates. And I'm sure all of you on the call and around the table, we have an opportunity here to really do something very special. And my goal, by creating a program specifically designed for women, was not to copy or duplicate everything out there, but it was really to find an effective organization that actually put our girls, and I say our girls, into jobs, into internships, into real mentor relationships and connections for their many of them might be lifetime connections. We have seen through this program state winner, state runner-up, national runner-up, and more. And every year we are bigger, better, and more effective. The one key thing to look at is that this is Minnesota STEM Partnership's give back. We have to go solicit money from big companies and organizations to buy all the robotics equipment and all that for the other programs. But this one, we all believe in this. And so Shanetta, I will try to make this short, because I am not the one you need to listen to, but I do want everybody to know that we appreciate you being here online or in the audience. And we will be here every Tuesday. We might be in a different room for those of you that are physically here, but it'll be in this building nearby. And we will proceed with the rest of the agenda. So before I have an opportunity to share our incredible speaker, I do also want to say at a very high level, we're going to cover an overview of aspirations. We're going to cover an actual beginning of the application process and make available to anyone the resources that are going to be necessary after we get to hear this incredible woman speak. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Toussaint many years ago. She was at our annual event well, I think it was our first annual event, the first ever Minnesota STEM Partnership Youth STEAM Showcase. And what we were able to do was highlight all of our student achievements, robotics, drones, coding. Miss Toussaint was Miss Black Minnesota at the time, if I'm not mistaken. However, she went on to become Miss Black USA 2021. And this program, I also want to encourage anybody in the audience out there that has a young lady that's in high school or knows of a young lady. They do not have to necessarily be a coder or be proficient. If you know a young mind, a young person that is interested and has a passion and understands the value of the future in terms of technology leading them to that future, that young person should be in this program so that they can be partnered with you mentors and the mentors that are on the call. So just keep in mind, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get recognition and promotion as well as engagement for our young ladies to be able to advance themselves through technology. So I say that only to say it is my honor now finally to turn the virtual stage over to Jamila Toussaint, Miss Black Minnesota 2021, and absolutely an incredible STEM advocate and good friend of mine. So I will say that, Jamila, hopefully you don't mind.
Oh, thank you so much. That was such a great introduction. And thank you, Shanetta, as well. You guys have just been so awesome. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And I'm grateful that you are here, that you showed up for yourself and for your future. You could have been at home, you could have been watching Gossip Girl or something like that. But you're here with us, and that's amazing. When I was in high school, I tried to do as many after school programs as possible, and it led me here today. So you are definitely doing a wonderful thing for your future. And I just hope that you continue to show up. So just a little bit about me. I'm 30 years old, which is kind of hard to believe sometimes. I feel like I'm a big kid. I'm actually a big goofball, kind of silly, actually. I'm from South Minneapolis. I went to De La Salle High School. And after that, I went to Howard University, where I studied legal communications. And then after that, I went to law school, where I did a bunch of different internships in a bunch of different industries. For the most part, I did a couple internships at the Federal Communications Commission, which is actually where I first got a bit of a taste of technology. That was my first time being a little bit in the technology field, doing communications proper. So that was very interesting. Some of my other hobbies: I love to model. I love astrology and yoga, makeup and hair, and I love watching my favorite shows with my sister. So last year, I was crowned Miss Black USA, and that was one of the most most amazing years of my life. It was so much fun, and I realized that it was my purpose to serve my community in the best way that I can, because I was someone that really benefited from positive role models in my community. And one thing that I never shied away from was asking for help and guidance. I mean, I asked everyone, to read my college essay. I asked for so much advice when I was applying for law school. I was always in my advisor's office. Same when applying for college. When I wanted to start modeling, I was doing a bunch of research online. I was DMing models, asking them for advice. So I was very determined to get where I wanted to be. So I think that it is really important that when you desire something, that you are relentless towards that goal and towards accomplishing that goal. So I wanted to talk a little bit about goal setting, since I know we're going to be doing that a little bit of that later. And so I just want to talk a little bit about my process for goal setting and accomplishing my goals. So first of all, you have to decide, you have to make a decision. And for me, this tends to be probably the longest and most tedious process for me. I'm not that decisive. So I really have to do a lot of research. I have to do a pros and cons list to really make a decision for myself. If you find yourself being very decisive, I think that's a great thing. Always trust your intuition. But I would also encourage you, to sometimes take a step back and make sure that you have all the information you need when making huge decisions, such as where do you want to go to college? What do you want to study? So from there, you don't want to be afraid to make a decision. You don't want to be afraid of doing the wrong thing. There's no such thing as making a wrong decision, because when you know what you don't want, you get closer to what you do actually want. So that's a very important part of the process. And if you still are feeling confused, I always encourage meditation. I encourage journaling. If you're religious, prayer, so just know that the right answer is always within you. You just have to get quiet and kind of tune out some of those, distractions to really tune into your intuition and your inner knowing. So the next thing I would encourage you to do after you make that decision, you want to write it down and you want to read it every day. You can write it out. You can type it into your phone. I like to put it as a background, put my goals as a background on my phone so that I'm looking at them every day. And there's a statistic that says that you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals and dreams by simply writing them down on a daily basis. So that's just a simple routine that you can get into that will get you closer to your dreams. So the next thing I want you to do after you, determine what you want to do and you write it down, I want you to then go in and write down the next 3 steps that you would need to take to get you closer to your goal. And that might take you back to, asking for guidance and advice. But you want to see what are some actions that you can take to get you closer. What could you do in 10 minutes or less to really just take you that much closer to your dream? And that's where you start. And that's a lot of work right there. So, once you get there, you still have to power through to some of those next steps. But, that's a great starting place, and for someone like me, I'm actually, making a career change from the legal field more into STEAM. And what I'm finding is that it does provide a different quality of life so that you can be aligned and accomplishing everything that you're here to do. So I'm someone that has many different interests. I love the legal field. I'm getting into technology more. I love modeling. I love being on social media. I love health and, healthy eating. And when you can have a career that allows you that flexibility to really just be able to hone in on everything that you're here to do in this lifetime, then you're really going to be in a great place. So I cannot wait for us to take a deeper dive into STEM to learn more. As I said before, I'm here learning with you as well. And I am so excited to meet you all in person. And I think this is just going to be a great opportunity for us to learn more about ourselves and to learn more about what we truly want out of this lifetime. So that's all I have for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everyone give a great round of applause for Jamila. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. So we do have some questions for you. I mean, the goal setting, actions, writing things down. You can do this in 10 minutes or less. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go ahead and check the chat, but to go with some questions first, I mean, Jamila, one of the reasons why we chose you is because we wanted to make sure that our young ladies knew that they were powerful, that there was so much that they could do with their talents, their knowledge, and not that they're just a woman walking into a room and, to be intimidated by the space of, male dominated fields. And we just want to know from you, why do you think it's important for these young ladies to be involved in programs like this while they are in high school?
Well, there are just so many distractions. I mean, social media alone, you can spend up to 7 hours a day just, scrolling. And I think that it's very, very important to focus on your goals and to kind of tune out those distractions. And with a hybrid program like this, it's really wonderful, and it's a really nice, unique experience to really hone in on what you're good at, to really workshop some of those skills that you have.
Mm.
And then you also have the aspect of having these wonderful mentors that have been where you are, that can guide you along this path and will be dedicated in helping you refine you and also define your dreams and ambitions.
Define. Awesome. Okay. And so with STEM and STEAM, they can be male dominated fields, as we know, but what do you want these ladies to know when they step out into these careers?
Yeah, it's interesting coming from a male dominated, field, a very masculine type of career path. I would actually say that I believe that STEM is, not really masculine. It allows you to be in your, if you're introverted, it allows you to be in your introverted nature. You don't have to stand up in a courtroom full of people and, argue someone down, which I think is really cool because, as you mature and get older and you start to have a family and you start to have different things in your life that you value, it really allows that flexibility to incorporate self-care and to just have the flexibility to work from home and to travel and just create that healthy routine. It might include yoga and waking up early and being in that field, although now it's male dominated. It does allow for your femininity to come through if that's something that you're interested in working on and flourishing in. So these are things that I wasn't necessarily aware of when I was picking a career, but I would now encourage young women to kind of look into some of those traits that you hope to have as a young lady, as a woman, and see if the career field that you're looking at is aligned with that.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's more than I could have asked for in an answer for that. Just thank you so much. Before we actually get ready to go into the other portion of our session, we would like for you to stick around, of course. And Michael, are there any questions, or Days, does anyone have any questions on the classroom side? I've already checked the chat.
Let's see. So you checked the chat on the classroom side. Do we have any questions for Jamila?
Yeah, is this on?
That
Yep.
I believe is on, yes.
Can you hear me?
Let me do the mic. Let me do a picture.
Yeah, they can hear me.
Kelly, yeah, they can hear you. Give me 1 second here. All right. Go ahead, Kelly.
I have a question.
Hi.
How you doing? I have a question.
Good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You mentioned that you're planning on learning more into the technology. What area of technology are you planning to zoom into between the 3 and 5 years from now?
I'm interested in IT and coding. That's just something that has always fascinated me. I'm a very detail-oriented person, and to be quite honest, I'm seeing that it's more fitting for the lifestyle that I'm looking for. There are a lot of remote jobs available, and I'm just finding myself really loving working from home as well. So that's what I'm interested in getting into. Yeah.
Is it web development, or is it just like the hardcore coding and in the background, or?
I'm leaning more towards web development. I've developed a couple of websites. I'm not too into it yet, but I am just getting my feet wet. So yes.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
What about you? What part of STEM or STEAM are you interested in?
I'm a professional.
Okay.
So I'm already in it, and I went to school coding, but coding is not my thing. So, but I still love technology. So I deal more with data, moving data around,
Interesting.
more of the data analyst type perspective.
Yeah.
So
And-
coding is definitely not my thing, but I can read it,
Okay.
not necessarily write it. I did, unless I put time into it.
And I think if you don't mind me interjecting on both of you, is that to our young ladies in the audience that are considering going into these fields, it is not just one thing. It's like a whole spectrum of, when people talk about coding, it's like a whole cornucopia. Wow, I don't know where that word came from. But it's like a whole cornucopia of opportunities. So we have Jamila, who started with the website. She will ultimately get into some type of scripting and then coding, all the way through Kelly, who has done coding professionally, found out she doesn't like it. Then there's this whole world of data.
Yep.
And then moving data, like how all the businesses share data back and forth. I mean, really getting into technology and any realm is why we're here.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you will find that match for the young ladies, for the young people that are interested in matching with a mentor. And I'd even say, Jamila, I'm sure there are plenty professionals in the room that wouldn't mind being a mentor to you as well, to coach you along the way. So I see heads
I
nodding
would love that.
here in the room. All right, I am attempting to exercise my skill as a moderator here. And I think the question on the table was, who do we have in the room versus who is in the virtual room in terms of our next steps? Is that where we're at, Shanetta?
Yeah, we are where we can get started with the goals and registrations for the remainder of the evening. So we can start with that there before we get into any final questions.
Sure. So the next things that we're going to do are, I'm going to give a brief overview. I'm going to attempt to give a brief overview of the application process, what you need to do from experience. And I should also interject that there's a lot of opinions that I'll not share. But the thing that I really like about the aspirations of computing in Minnesota is that, again, to reiterate, the young people have an opportunity to engage with the workforce. The second part of it is why we were here 4 years ago. The application process was a barrier. Even as simple as the application process has morphed and changed into, it is not as big of a barrier. But what we're finding is that our goal as mentors is to help them understand how they can position themselves with the questions that are going to be answered so that they have a more thorough response. There's 3 or 4 questions. They're very succinct. They ask specific things. However, we did talk about the young person that is interested that may not have a lot of coding skills. We also talked about, between Kelly and Jamila, there's a whole spectrum of software and data. Well, the same thing happens with our young ladies, is the fact that being a young person today, sometimes we have so many other skills that we don't even know how to articulate those. So that passionate technology person doesn't understand necessarily in the words that the application process is looking for. Oh, you actually have project management skills. You have time management skills. You are an excellent organizer. You study well, your GPA, whatever those things are that make you an ultimate professional, a hireable candidate is what we want to assist the young people in being able to form the response to their questions. And so that's why we go through this process. That's why we have people in the audience here, as well as in the virtual audience, to hopefully we have enough where we can partner one-to-one. In many cases, we don't track attendance or know exactly who's coming. So right now, I think what we'll do is we'll go through the application process, go to the website. I think the links are already in the calendar invite. I'll go and I'll share the main screen so we can see what those things look like. And we have laptops here. We will, once I finish speaking, once Shanetta finished speaking, and we go to breakout rooms for those that are in virtual land, we will pick a time and we'll assemble back within about 50 minutes-ish or so. You'll have to, don't do the math. I have heavy math and stats, but sometimes I kind of wing it. So we'll go to breakout rooms, and as soon as you want to come back, you can certainly come back to the main room, and we'll be wrapping up with some words from Shanetta and Jamila. So Shanetta, is there anything else you want to cover before they have to endure me sharing for the next 6.5 minutes?
No, it's up to you if you wanted to show that slide or go directly into that. I checked the chat again and you are good. So
Okay,
we're ready for you, Michael.
okay, geez. Shanetta had me so well organized, and I, of course, winging it, right? It's not always the best way to do it, so. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this. And I'm sorry you get to see my screen and backdrop and everything like that. However, we're gonna jump right into it.
Is everyone still doing good tonight? Is everyone enjoying themselves? All right, I see the head nods.
All right.
Hmm.
So my theory, keep in mind, being an IT guy, one of the theories that I had in my generation was make things simple. So I've attempted to put as many of the key links into the meeting invite. Should you forget, at least, go to the calendar, and at least you can get to those areas. This is the first website, which is the site that I prefer that we go to, is with Minnesota State IT Center of Excellence, and they link and engage it. One key thing about the Minnesota State IT Center of Excellence, I've worked with them for many, many years. They are part of the coordinator, or attracted the National Consortium? Well, the National Consortium of Women in Technology, or NCWIT, and they have the Aspirations in Computing Minnesota chapter, if you will. And so there are many, many other companies involved with the Aspirations. However, all we are attempting to do is to help students apply. That is all we're doing. We have no other relationships or any tangible things. So that's my one disclaimer. Before we get going, just to set expectations, I do want to play the video for the Aspirations in Computing real quick, just so we can all see that.
Here we go now.
And Michael, are you screen sharing?
Aha. You can tell that was not my skill, definitely. I'm coming here, Shanetta. Oh, do I have to? Oh, you guys just can't see it. I forgot everybody here can see it. There we go. All right, my apologies.
Are you sharing sound as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 99% sure. Shanetta will let me know if we're not sharing sound. Actually, let me just go back and make sure.
Yeah.
I'm 99% sure. That is one thing I do try to remember. Yep, share sound. All right. Keeping me grounded and real here. All right.
Here we go now.
Pretty exciting video.
That's pretty cool.
And one of the gentlemen in there, his name is Russ, and he's kind of the mastermind behind a lot of stuff. I like to give him grief, but he is one of the major forces for us being able to participate in this program, and in getting us enabled and picking Aspirations. I'm sure there's other people, but Russ has done a very good job about making this a reality for the state of Minnesota. And I believe the IT Center of Excellence also helps drive a lot of it. So there is a step-by-step guide. And when you go to the website, you're going to come here and you can scroll down. We just played the video. But the key thing is there's an application step-by-step guide. Personally, I think the way that it's set up now, there's only a couple of things that you would need to know, but it's very easy to register. Our value that we'll add here with these wonderful mentors is how to answer the questions. So one of the first steps you're going to do in this particular process is go through the application guide, which is more or less, I'm going to go through it very quickly, and then you're going to do it on your laptops or online after we match you up with a mentor per se. You're going to log in and you're going to select, for the high school students, you're going to select yourself as a high school student. Then it's going to ask you for your email address, enter a password. Be sure to use an email address that you check or have access to, of course. That's all basic things. There's some terms and conditions. My eyesight is really bad, but you click this little radio button here that says agree, and then you hit continue to the contact information. Don't laugh. I have to say it because that is actually something that people get stuck on. First, obviously, you know how to answer the next screen, first name, last name, any pronouns. The phone number, from what I understand, this is just so that they can contact you should there's a problem. You get into the process, you win an award, they want to know how to contact you. So be sure you use good information as you apply for all these things. Keep in mind, Minnesota STEM, nor any of your mentors or anything like that will have this information. We don't see any of this data. We don't do anything. We're just trying to help you apply. So the information that's in here is yours in private, your mailing address, so on and so forth, and complete registration. Then you're going to set up security. And when I went through and did it for my fictitious daughter, you will create it and they want you to do, is everybody familiar with multi-factor security and all that, where you have to either text or whatever, email back? It works really well. The website is real responsive. And if you notice, I had mentioned the national, I got to look to see what the C is, but I called it the consortium, but ncwit.org. That is where you'll be redirected to. So that is actually a legit website. You'll enter in your username and password, and ultimately it's going to ask you which method you want to verify against. In particular, I picked Google because I am starting to just lose the war about privacy and letting Google take over keeping all my passwords and authentication. I tell you, I'm giving up, but I know if I just make sure I log into Google, all my other apps go. I'm not promoting it, but you can also text message, SMS, voice call, whatever you're comfortable with. And it does turn around and work very expeditiously. It's going to ask you to finish it. You're going to verify, and then boom, finish. Now you have your account set up, and you're going to go in and fill out your aspirations profile. The key thing when you're entering in any descriptive information, you have to look at it from other people looking for you to be recognized, for you to potentially be hired as an intern, for you to potentially have other opportunities to just partner or have continued mentorship. So kind of turn the tables. You're actually writing it for how you want to be viewed by the outside world, especially when you're talking about your profile. And that's where we want our mentors to focus in on, is how are the words that were selected viewed? Are there any trigger words, anything that we want to stay away from? Those are other areas that you can help with. Now, one key thing, which is why today we wanted to go through this process, is you will need an adult if you are 17 and under, but if you're technically in the category of underage, you will have to enter in a parent's email address. They will have to go to their email and they will have to approve that they're allowing you to set up an account. As much quote unquote delay that might cause, you have to pursue that and push that pretty hard. Otherwise, I don't believe you're going to be able to get into your profile to fill out the questions. For those of you that are here, the other reason why I'm going through this is these questions are all listed on this PDF. So you can actually get a jump start and just start writing your responses to your questions in like a Google Doc or a Word doc or whatever method you want to store them. Just don't lose them. But this step here, you want to make sure that you pursue that adult, and it should be a parent or guardian. There's a lot of information here. You can read it certainly yourself, but that is the gist of it. For our students, for the Minnesota STEM students that may not have or want to put their public school or their private school there, We are also a nonprofit. We aren't a public school, but we are a community school. So you can certainly list us as a default if you choose to. Otherwise, it's worth putting your school. So that is where this, if you can't find your home school or your school isn't listed, put your school in there. But if you want to reference Minnesota STEM Partnership for those long-term Minnesota STEM Partnership students, that's great as well. Again, to emphasize receiving the parent or guardian approval. Here they did clarify, you will not need that before you get started, but you will need it for the final application. So I stand corrected. You do have to get it, but it will not prohibit you from continuing. The key thing is request consent. It looks like there's a button on the dashboard that you'll see where if they don't, that person is very slow in responding, you can keep harassing them by sending them emails. All right. For those of you that are new to the aspirations and computing process, you want to complete your profile, and it will leave everything blank when you start to create your application. For those of you that are returning students, if I'm not mistaken, it will actually pre-fill some information for you. So once you've opened the application and you've gone to your dashboard and you've completed everything, obviously you can follow the steps along the way. It does look like you have the opportunity to save as many times as you need to. However, at the end of it, once you complete the application, at the end of everything looks good. You feel good about it. Your mentor feels good about it, or whoever's reviewing it feels good about it. Once you complete it, I do not believe that you can submit it. So you will not be able to edit your application once you have clicked submit completed application. Okay. Educator endorsement. If you have a special teacher that has really been important to you in your life, in terms of your school life or whatever, I would say that I will say this to just let you know that it does work. I had a couple of students that nominated me as an educator endorsement, and I'm the 2022 Educator of the Year for Aspirations in Computing. And so that's not to brag or anything like that, but if you have a really dope teacher that is doing wonderful things for you at your school, certainly do that, because they certainly could win Educator of the Year for the state of Minnesota. And it is all based on you being able to endorse them as your educator. The key thing with it, I believe, is you will also have to make sure that they accept it and go through that whole process. So. Yes, and the normal stuff like, hey, you got spam filters, so make sure you pursue that. Everything here is really well documented, but it's also straightforward. But I would be remiss in not being able to just make sure we cover this. So, all right. Now, the key thing is here at the end, if you decide to start your application, you go on forward with it, there is the organization that runs this called the Aspirations in Computing. And you can certainly contact them with any questions, problems, or issues. We will be here for the following 3 Tuesdays. Next week, we will have college interns talking about their college experiences and so on and so forth. So we have themes for each of the weeks. The other key thing to note is that the application deadline, as far as I could tell, currently is October 27th. So the Thursday after our Tuesday session, that is when you must submit by. So I really know that I'm not making this the most exciting conversation, because that's not who I am. I am not the true fun teacher. I'm like the get it done, do your homework, and eat your vegetables teacher. So that's why I am not going to be representing this going forward. That's why we have all these wonderful mentors and volunteers and staff. However, you must complete the submission of your application. You don't know how heartbreaking it is when you put all that work into writing your, couple of essay questions and you think you've submitted it, but you didn't actually follow the second step to complete the submission. And then you wait and you might get some emails that are, I won't say harassing, but like, hey, you didn't submit your application or whatever. Please follow up on those. We had through Minnesota STEM, we have quite a few young ladies now this year, but last year we had a couple of incredible students that really would have went on, but they were super busy, much like our guest speaker. I won't call out high schools, but they were like that close to hitting submit and they would have proceeded on. They had the interest, they had the write-up, but I can't tell you how heartbreaking it is to not hit the submit button and finish that up. And the program itself, again, the reason why we push aspirations today, we have other programs. There'll be an announcement about, I believe Target does one, NSBE does one. I'm not sure about BDPA, but they partner with BWise. We also partner with SHEP through NSBE, as well as ACES, the Association of Engineering Indian Society. And so there's many other programs that we'll offer to our students. So the fact that you registered for this too, rest assured that with other opportunities, once you complete this process, we will send privately. We will never give your email address to anybody. We will not publicly, announce your email address or put it out there, but we will forward you any information that we have that is gender related for female. Okay, so you have other opportunities to participate in programs. And certainly I will tell you this, once you are recognized somewhere in the spectrum of the Aspirations program, when the nomination list does come out, you can expect to get some calls, right? Or some emails. The people will figure out, oh, this person goes to, Harding and their name is whatever, they will find you. So the good and the bad side of it is we protect your privacy. Everybody protects your privacy, but just know that you being recognized and doing the incredible things that you do, just to have a passion for technology, right? This is a technology program. You're gonna be exposed to a lot of incredible mentors and people and opportunities. Therefore, I guess now, Shanetta, I can certainly look at the guest list. So in the room, it's going to be pretty easy because I think what I'm going to do with the room is just say, how many students do we have? None, right? I knew that was going to be easy. So, all right. So those of you with laptops or whatnot, although I will admit, all of you look like you should be mentees. That's why you don't want to have a guy in the room because he's always saying stupid things like that. But truly, you do all appreciate your time and energy for doing these things. How many students do we have on the call? You could raise your hand in the chat. I know. Oh, Zamira's one. She does robotics.
We have 5 others in chat. Indira.
We got 2. We might have a connection, a name connection. All right. So one thing we're going to do is we will be sending out this recording to the, and actually, it just dawned on me, are there any cybersecurity professionals in here? Okay, it just dawned on me, Shanetta, we need to add to the thing for people to turn off their names. So we will not be able to publicly send this out, but we will send it out to the other registrants who would have seen your name anyway. So, and we will turn off access once it's over. And those cybersecurity professionals in here, it's amazing. All right. So it looks like Zamira is a young lady. I believe she is in Zamira, are you in ninth
I'm in-
grade, Zamira?
Yeah. Yes, I'm in ninth grade.
So I made a faux pas too. We didn't introduce everybody in the room, but Zamira, while we're on you, would you introduce yourself? You're in ninth grade. And what school do you go to?
I go to Washington Technology.
All right. And do you have any technology interests or any particular specialties that you're interested in?
Yes.
Okay. And would you share what those interests are?
CAD and yeah, I think just CAD.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
CAD.
CAD,
Oh,
3D design, well, computer aided design.
Mhm.
AutoCAD is a tool. There's other tools. And do you get in?
And programming.
Oh, programming, so CAD programming.
Designing and
Okay. 3D modeling.
yeah.
All right. So are there any mentors that have any expertise in those particular areas? Online, if there is a hand raised,
Wait, say them again. CAD.
I think your first interest was CAD, which leads to maybe mechanical engineering, Ish.
Anything in 3D designing and,
could be art,
yeah.
the arts, digital arts.
Yeah.
All right. Any volunteers that would like to be a mentor? And maybe online, we can have her go to a breakout room with one of the mentors.
Potentially, we could all say what we specialize in and what she's.
Let's
more
do
interested
that.
in.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's good to introduce mentors.
All right, well, Samira, you are gonna get, you're in a very special position where we are about to,
And then who
Um,
was the other student?
okay, Zamira, who was our other student?
Dahir.
Lost- Oh, Indira, hey.
Mhm.
Would you
Hello,
please
Dr. Paul. Yeah, this
introduce-
this is for my daughter. I just signed up on my account, but Shreya is right here.
Okay, let me make sure I got camera. Are you on camera?
Not really. Let me try to turn it on.
There we go.
Introduce yourself.
He's very excited.
I know, she's like, oh man, really?
But she just came in, so she didn't know what was going on.
Oh, mom, boy, I tell you. It's a good thing I know you from Rochester, so it's all good. Well, hey,
So this is Shreya. She is a junior at Century High School. And she just finished her lessons, and then she just walked into the room in time to introduce herself.
all right. So we were only asking, Ms. Shreya, is what are your interests in technology, the type of maybe things you like to do with technology, or if you could just introduce yourself regarding those types of technology or STEM related interests.
I guess coding.
Fantastic. Any other areas of technology?
So
Okay. And coding, as we learned earlier, is a wide spectrum of jobs relating from very beginning things to data to everything. Coding actually leads us to some of the things that we do in Minnesota STEM is AI, right? So you have to be able to code, you have to be able to do software and do it well to go into those particular realms. So software definitely is a winning career profession. So All right, so we have 2 students. I think identifying a mentor online would be a good thing. Is there anybody that would like to mentor online? Does anybody have their own laptop or want to do Zoom? Maybe we could, if you were able to do Zoom, go into a breakout room maybe. Do you have yours?
Oh, no, this is just one of yours,
Okay,
but
so we're gonna I did hear you, I did remember, we're gonna do
Okay.
introductions. I just wanted to make sure that if we do and we match somebody up, that everybody was downloading Zoom or having Zoom ready to go.
Mhm.
Good. I think we're good. Yeah, it's already 7 o'clock, so if they haven't shown up by 7, then they're probably not coming. So, and the interesting thing is we did have quite a few students that said they were joining via Zoom, so we will loop back with them. So why don't we start in the room here and go around the room by you all introducing yourselves. And we will start, we're gonna just recap with Kelly because we had people join late. So if you could give your name, your core technology that you work in, and then maybe your favorite sandwich, quickly.
Hi. Hi, my name is Kelly Martin, born and raised here, actually, from Minneapolis, not over north, South Minneapolis. And I'm involved with BDPA, Black Data Processing Associates, where we try to get youth involved in web development, from then learning Scratch, Python to JavaScript to anything to compete nationally against other chapters. And my favorite sandwich, I love peanut butter and jelly. That's my favorite.
Fantastic.
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm a firmware engineer, so I do a lot of low-level code, like microcontrollers, and I graduated in computer engineering. So that's a lot of electrical engineering with a smidge of computer science. So I did a fair amount of circuitry too. I kind of suck at it, but it was fun to learn, and it was really helpful to have at least a background knowledge of. But so I do a lot of so I know the Python, C++ are my go-tos. I even know a smidge of assembly.
Wow, that's my generation.
Oh man, I've had to do like entire labs in just assembly. I have a smidge of CAD experience. Mainly just kind of messing around. I am kind of fresh out of college, as in 2 years, but fresh it. And I was also in the rocket team. So as in like 14 feet tall rockets that go up to like 30,000 feet up in the air kind of rockets. So I have a little bit of knowledge about that, mainly the firmware part, but yeah, that's kind of my knowledge.
Man, vision of Elon Musk just taking off on one of your rockets. All right, to the back. Let's go to the back.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tori. I'm the community engagement person at the Minnesota STEM Partnership. I'm also a student at Augsburg University. I study urban studies, so I'm not actually in a technology field, but I'm happy to be here. Heck yeah.
So what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, I love chicken sandwiches.
Emma?
Oh man. Whatever I can scrounge, really.
I'm the same way, Emma. I'm the same way.
All right.
Hey, this is Bhavna. I was born and brought up in India, southern part of India and Telangana. So I came to US for my master's degree in computer science, and I was doing big data specialization. before coming to US, my undergrad is in electronics and instrumentation. I did, my interest was mostly in robots. And I had my first startup in robots, developing swarm robots and underwater robots. After that got acquired, I came to US for my master's degree, and then I worked with my clinic, started as a software development. It's a big shift from the engineering to the computer science, but yeah, and then I got interested in the data analytics part of it. So I moved from software development to data science. So I worked there as a data scientist developing data products for radiologists. Then, I have my startup company right now. I'm a techpreneur and also a filmmaker. And so I kind of live double lives, 2 lives, not double life, maybe 2 lives. So yeah, so I'm a filmmaker and also a techpreneur who have companies both in India and here. So Minnesota is my second home. I've been living here for 7 years now. I lived in Rochester for 5 years and moved to Minneapolis in 2020 in middle of pandemic. So I have my son, I do career coaching, especially with students in India who wants to do higher studies, and especially in the underprivileged schools and rural public schools in India. So I also wanted to give back here because this is my second home. So I, signed up for mentoring here.
We appreciate that for sure. And did you share your favorite sandwich?
I like food, so anything, anything that I can eat with jalapenos.
Okay, you want jalapeno wrap, well, I get it. With jalapenos.
And I hope
Yes,
our
please.
students are taking, I'm sorry, I was saying, I hope our students are taking note about how these women are multifaceted. You can do so many things. Don't limit yourself, even doing entrepreneurship with your skills and everything that you learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like you're not picking a career, you're picking a place to start. So you can go
That's very,
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
That totally does my life.
Yeah.
next.
All right. Hi, I'm Bailey. Bailey Taylor now. I just got married, so my name changed. Congrats. Thank you.
Congrats.
I am an environmental engineer by trade. My degrees are in civil engineering, so I have a bachelor's in civil engineering, then a master's in civil environmental engineering. So I'm not a tech person. I don't like tech. I don't like programming. No, I just can't do it. My job is environmental engineering consulting. So I work with companies with water and wastewater and help them discharge water and wastewater safely back to the environment. I'm also the president of the Twin Cities professional chapter of NSBE, so National Society of Black Engineers, here in Minneapolis, and it's my second year doing that. And my favorite sandwich is just a classic Italian sub with tons of olive oil and pepper. So good.
Sounds messy.
It's good though. It has messy to be.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Bailey. Congratulations, Miss Taylor or Mrs. Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I have to get used to a whole new name now.
I know. Me too.
Yeah, you got the better end of the bargain. All right. Online, let's see. Where do we want to start? We've heard from Zamira. I'm going down the list that I can see. So Pamela Gray. Pamela, would you like to share the questions?
Yes. Could you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. Hello, I am Pamela Gray. You can just call me Pam. I am a student 3rd year at the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities. Right now I am studying astrophysics, and which is kind of a combination of a lot of different things, mostly in the planetary and earth sciences, but there are some engineering elements. There's a lot of CS elements as well. Right now I'm kind of deciding which avenue I'm more interested in. Either way would probably require me to use all of them. So
is that currently I am on a project that is distributed through to you. It's called the Mu-to-E project, developed by Fermilab, where they're building a giant detector to split muons into electrons through these kind of like these straws that are very paper thin, very lightweight material. They're very delicate, so we have to like handle them in the laboratory. And my job is to develop these straws, assemble them together in a huge U-shaped panel, test them with all kinds of like gases like methane and nitrogen, and make sure that they're ready to go for the lab to use for their detector. And my favorite sandwich, a classic BLT.
Nice. So you're out in the solar system, but yet in astrophysics, but you got the BLT. I thought you were gonna, okay. I could you be my mentor? Like seriously. I need to
I
learn.
appreciate it. I would love to mentor anybody.
So you heard that to our students. All right, so thank you, Miss Pam. Let's see, who do we have next here? Going up my list. Oh my goodness, Marquita. Marquita's online. How are you doing, Marquita?
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Marquita, good evening. I work for the City of Minneapolis Health Department. I have a STEM background, but right now I facilitate and coordinate and connect and just work on behalf of BIPOC community in North and South Minneapolis to get them opportunities in STEM, particularly related to clean energy at this point in time. But yeah, so good evening, y'all.
And your favorite sandwich, you're not getting out of here without that. It's important. The reason why I have to interject this, the reason why it's important is because Marquita is being very laid back about this, but she does incredible number of training programs in an incredible number of different areas. And when I'm sitting in here, she brings me sandwiches every time there's a leftover sandwich. It might have been sitting out for a while, but I would never call you out in public about that, but no, they're all delicious. So I'm anxious to see what food she actually likes.
Oh my goodness, I like potbelly sandwiches. I like tuna, I like turkey, I like beef, but they all have to come with the spicy peppers, lettuce, tomato, onion, all that. So with all the fixings.
Another one. All right, fixins. All right. Thank you very much, Marquita. And next, unless you're keeping track, Shanetta, if you want to, if you're in the same list I am, Kartumu, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You are. My name is Kartumu King, and I am the founder and CEO for Accountable Cultural Brokers out in St. Paul, Minnesota. I just want to say you guys are like making my brain and my heart happy today. I'm not a STEM professional, but my brain tells me I am also. The reason why I signed up for this is because I wanted to learn more of what you all was doing. I work with youth, and part of what I do is create space and opportunities for youth to get involved in different aspects or different sectors of their lives. So I'm thankful and grateful for being here, and I'm learning a lot of information. I would like to talk to somebody to see how we can partner and get this information out to the community.
Absolutely. But before you go, we need to know what your favorite sandwich is.
Oh, peanut butter and jelly.
Classic.
Yes.
PB&J. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Days. I got a gift left for me. This is wonderful. All right, and for Kartumu, I am the founder, so we will certainly, Shanetta can put my email address and things in chat for you. We can certainly reach out later this week. That'll be fantastic. If you do know any young ladies that have a passion or interest in technology for this particular program, it is more of a technology alignment, but if they are interested in engineering or anything surrounding technology, electricity, building something, definitely have them register at the aspirations.mnstempartners.org. And we will take it from there. We'll add them to the calendar, and you can certainly continue to participate and support the young ladies that you have. In addition to that, we have other programs, so we'll get you that information. All right. Next up, we've already talked to Shreya. I see Heshat. Did I mispronounce that?
Hi, yeah, it's pronounced Aisha.
Aisha, okay.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. I apologize if you hear my son babbling in the background. My name is Aisha, like I just said. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and I got my bachelor's in engineering physics from Tulane University in New Orleans. And I'm currently working here in the Minneapolis area for Eaton Corporation as an inside sales engineer. For those that haven't heard of Eaton Corporation, they are an industrial manufacturing company. I work in the electrical sector. They manufacture industrial electrical equipment, so transformers, switchgear, switchboard, circuit breakers. I started off in field services, so I started off doing maintenance work on all of those types of equipment, troubleshooting, preventive maintenance, site acceptance testing, and commissioning. And now I work with our sales group, selling those services. So,
fantastic.
Yes.
And your favorite sandwich?
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess the favorite sandwich would be sort of custom turkey with bacon, avocado, tomato, lettuce. I don't know if there's an official name for that, but it has to be smoked turkey too.
All right, if y'all don't get your special orders, don't blame me, but it's not like a turkey tom from Jimmy John's to me, but good. No, that's good. It's, welcome. The key point I want to make for the recording, but as well as for the young ladies, is that there are many, many other areas of technology that we can get into. And it's really not just about coding, right? It can be so many other things that we can participate in that they don't have to, it's not just one track. It's not just software. And I'm triggering off of that because I have many, many years and many, many others that have, experience in this. You can start with being non-technical, learn the technology, and sell. And I'm not saying that that's the way you started, but certainly that is one way to get into a well-paying career with some longevity in it. And you don't have to stay purely within the coding spectrum. Any comments on that, or did I hit it close enough?
Yeah, I mean, my background was in engineering, but I had no any kind of electrical experience at all. So when I switched, so I didn't mention this, but I worked for an oil and gas company right after graduating. And then that didn't really work out. And then I found Eaton, and they kind of trained me on all of the electrical stuff. So now, I can't even believe that I know the things I know, but to your point, for sure, you can start off doing one thing and then decide it's not for you. And as the speaker mentioned earlier, knowing what you don't like is just one step closer to finding something that you do like. So that's definitely my journey.
That's fantastic. All right, and I'm going down the list here. Who do we have left? I think Shanetta, you should share. I think I've covered everybody. Let me just check. I think Shanetta, you should share your story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some turmoil here in the local headquarters. Bailey, no, I'm just kidding. Bailey was about to beat me up. All right, Shanetta, why don't you share your story and your background?
Hi, everyone. So my background is in digital design, multimedia design, content creation. Became a marketing engineer and entrepreneur for my company, Spriggs Media Agency. And when I started, it was actually main course encouragement with my husband. And we met Michael at BDPA in 2019. We came in there with our cameras. We were traveling and recording different events and why people did the things that they did and what sparked their life and what made them want to be happy, what made them want to live out their dreams and to encourage other people to live their daily dream life every single day by, you know, having their ultimate dream life. And I've just been in this world of SEO and content creation, helping out with especially short form social media and making sure that people get their stories and things across. And I ended up partnering with Michael and working with the Minnesota STEM Partnership. And I'm just super excited because I worked in different fields. I worked with fire hosing, foam. I worked on the factory floor. I moved up into the office into corporate level. So I understand what just everyone was talking about, just how you're in one different field, then you're jumping to entrepreneurship, you're building yourself up, you're building your resume, meeting people, networking. And when I was in college at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, originally from North Carolina, the state with the many basketball colleges, and it was all basketball. But for me to come away from there, I definitely was someone who hit the campus running. So for those of you getting ready to go into college or whatever tech school you're going to go to, whatever you're interested in, I was involved with a lot of different programs, a lot of different things on campus. I had 4 jobs on campus for, you know, paying for my apartment because I did not like, I was about to say the barracks, but I did not like the dorm rooms too much. But that's also how I got my love for sandwiches, because that's what I had to make and do all these great things. But Michael knows me very well, Dr. Wolf. And I'm just so excited to be in the room with everyone in here. So if there's any way I can help anyone with digital design or anything, just let me know. I would love to help mentor. And I also went to California and helped with CME and Nesby Jr. So I'm someone that's ready to get on that wagon for mentorship. I'm based in Kentucky right now, and I've also traveled up to Minnesota. So I come up there whenever I can. And my favorite sandwich, I love them all, really. I'm a sandwich person. So my sandwiches literally are like the go-to thing because you can make anything out of them. Other than that, I'm pasta and rice type of person. But my favorite sandwich is turkey with some banana peppers and just some type of sauce or something. I love avocado, all that good stuff. But yeah, just starting with turkey for sure.
All right, well, I think we have everybody's sandwich orders. So when you get home, please make your favorite sandwich, just because you're making me hungry right now.
What is yours?
What is my favorite sandwich? My favorite sandwich is a well-traveled sandwich, and it is called the club sandwich. And I will tell you my story is I was raised by my grandmother, and we used to go to Woolworth's back in the day.
Oh.
Woolworths is a predecessor to what you may think of as a CVS or a Walgreens / include a dollar store. So it's literally like where Walgreens meets the dollar store.
We have a hand raised by Zamira. Zamira, would you like to go ahead and speak?
Go ahead, Zamira.
There you go.
Can I say my favorite sandwich?
I don't think you did. What is your favorite sandwich?
What is your favorite sandwich?
A tuna fish sandwich.
Okay.
Good. Anyone
Nutella
else?
sandwich.
Oh, Nutella. Ooh, very nice. Very fancy. Anyone else?
Shreya, do you want to chime in on your favorite sandwich since we didn't get the students?
Yeah.
My favorite sandwich is Subway.
Gotcha. We're gonna get you the whole entire menu for sure. All right, well, we have accomplished what we set out to do in the first section. I am now going to be quiet and turn my camera off and turn it back over to Shanetta, who is going to bring our guests back on, and they're going to offer some closing remarks.
Yes, yes, yes. So with Jamila, Michael, there is a final slide for tonight if you wanted to pop that on the screen. But Jamila, thank you again so much. I hope you heard all of these great, amazing things that everyone was saying. Like, how do you feel right now, first of all?
I'm so excited. I'm learning so much, and I can't wait to learn from all of the professionals and the students as well. Yeah, I'm just super excited.
Awesome. So good, so good. Well, if there is one thing about being a woman in tech or any profession to note, we are women first, and we have to take care of ourselves. So everything that Jamila said tonight was just so profound and so on point, because as we get ready to learn from the different professionals, these different wonderful women, BIPOC women in STEAM, we are women first. All right, so thank you again, Jamila, for your powerful insight tonight and being our official ambassador. We're so excited for you this month for Aspirations in Computing and Minnesota STEM Partnership Women in STEAM program. We just look forward to you hosting the Q&As and just going back and forth with these wonderful women on these Tuesdays for these discussion panels and doing this some more. So if there are any final questions or closing remarks, guests, students, you can raise your hands now for any final questions, and I'll keep an eye on the chat. Oh, Jamila, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, yes. Ooh, I like a shrimp po' boy sandwich.
Oh, she got real fancy on us, you guys.
Man, you should have heard the room. Oh my, they're like, oh.
I had one recently, so I'm like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Good one, good one. Michael, do you have any closing remarks? Those were mine. I'm super excited. So again, we're women first. I'm so excited for us. Michael, anything else?
Just some administrative things, unless you were going to cover them, Shanetta. We'll be back next Tuesday on Zoom. We will record that. We have a few college students that are going to share their experiences. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to go hard on contacting the young ladies who registered to participate so that we will actually be able to do some mentoring since we have reached our time here. By the way, very good time management, Shanetta. You just kept us moving along really well. Despite my talking, I can let us run over if you like, but the key objectives that are going to be listening to this and the communications coming out is get your system set up, get registered, take a shot at the questions, and we will see you next Tuesday at 6 o'clock online and Zoom in person. And for those of you mentors that are coming back, we look forward to seeing you next week. If you come back next week, right? Obviously, you have some very lightweight snacks over here. And hopefully, but nobody noticed that we have juices with no ice. But it's in a very... We will work on having something of more substance. And I can't promise you shrimp po' boys. I can't promise you all the Subways, but we will have something at least. Back.
Oh, Michael went out a little bit.
That is just an indicator for us.
There you go.
That's just a signal that says it's 7:30 exactly.
It's 7:30.
And for me to shut up and move on. So just everyone for coming tonight. Have a wonderful evening. And we will see you next Tuesday, either here or online. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
What did you call it, Shanetta? The finger waves?
Think about That's you.
All right. Well, see, good night, everyone.
Night.